All right, so three things I want to hit on before we start doubling and tripling down on solutions, because at the end of the day, that's all people need: solutions, things that can help them move their finances and family and fortune to the next level, but doing it in a way that's legitimized and allowing them to tap into skill sets, assets, and access. That said, first thing I want to hit on is the previous video. People were getting some good value out of it, understanding how they can potentially write off the loss that came with BG Wealth Sharing. I say potentially. Anybody can do it, but you do have to follow the rules. I gave the form, the document in the video, so make sure you check that video out if you haven't already. Share it with those who you feel may benefit, those who are part of BG, those who are part of other scams, because it applies to them as well. Somebody else was in my comments saying that she lost like 20,000 trying to transfer some funds, and it was an investment, but it got caught up some kind of way, and she wasn't able to recoup. But this was a few years ago. Well, when it comes to filing taxes and backdating, she may be able to recoup a portion of that. It's not going to be dollar for dollar. Somebody else pointed that out as well. It's not going to be dollar for dollar, but you can at least get a portion of that back. That's what it's all about. It's not about taking a total L. Let's minimize the loss, if at all possible. And getting it as a tax deduction allows you to do that. So it's important that you watch that previous video if you haven't already. And more importantly, share with others, because it's only a certain amount of people who tap in, but it's people that are not on YouTube looking for BG, anything related. So you need to put this in the groups that you were a part of. Everybody was in some type of group, whether it was a Telegram, whether it was, well, can't do it in a bunch chat, but whether it was the Telegram, whether it was a group me, whether it was Messenger, whatever it was, share it in those groups, because people need to know, hey, I can get a portion of this back in the form of a tax deduction using this form, the IRS form, and using my tax professional to connect the dots and make it happen. Get your screen. Pay attention to the video. I gave you the things that you needed to do in that video, but you gotta share that video out. Share, so everybody can get the word. If it was, hundreds of thousands of people in BG, that video should run up, because I want people to recoup what's theirs. Of course, you can say, you know what, I just take that L, but why not lower your tax liability? Because whatever you're doing for work, for those who pay taxes, it's not the person who says taxes is illegal and you're not paying your taxes. We're talking about those who file taxes specifically. I get all of that in terms of, not trusting the tax system because it's illegal. I get all of that. But in the broad scheme of things, most people are filing taxes on an annual basis. So this is who that's for. For those who are filing taxes on an annual basis, the money that you're earning, whether it's from a job, whether it's self-employed, whether it's the gig economy, whatever it is, that is taxable income. That being taxable income, you need things to offset your tax liability. Otherwise, you end up paying more than you have to. It's all about paying the legal minimum, not avoiding taxes, but paying the legal minimum. And in many cases, people can pay zero taxes legally by having tax deductions. That's important, and a lot of people don't know that, and they skip that, thinking that you have to be at this multi-million-dollar status to be concerned about minimizing your taxes. That couldn't be further from the truth. You do it at every level. When I was working my job, my full-time job, prior to entrepreneurship, I was learning the tax game then and understanding, I can lower my tax liability by having a side business, by having a side investment. So now I can offset my earned income from my job. So that's the importance of that video and understanding that. So share the video out. That's that. The second thing is, the other video I want you to share is the recovery plan. I'm calling it the recovery plan because that's what the thumbnail says. Recovery plan. Share that video as well, because some of you may realize something opens up before I do, because it's something that I share in that video, and I say, hey, if it reaches this point to where the funds that have been frozen can be tapped into because these funds have been seized, then we need to do our part and apply to see about getting a portion of the seized money, because that, belongs to us, as a community. So I want y'all to watch that video and share that video as well, because if that happens where the funds are actually seized and they have it somewhere, that money got to go to somebody, and it's either going to be them, or they bank on the grand percentage of people not actually pursuing that money or applying to get access to some of those funds. And if don't nobody say nothing, then it's fair game. They can just grab it. So I want people to be on alert, on high alert, and implementing or paying attention to what I talked about in that recovery plan video. So that way, if you see, hey, these funds have been seized, let's go ahead and apply pressure in this area, so we can apply to try to get some of those funds back. These are just possible solutions. Nothing is guaranteed. Other than the tax deduction, you can actually get some tax deductions, but give it to tax professional to make sure it's done correctly. But I'm just giving out solutions. At the end of the day, we can't cry over spilled milk. What we got to do is focus on cleaning it up or doing what we can to not get caught in that situation or bounce back from whatever losses that we taken. Different people have taken different ranges of losses. I've seen the comments, I've heard the text, I've seen the text rather, I've heard the story. So some lost hundreds, not tripping. Some lost thousands, not tripping. Some lost multiple thousands, and not tripping. But nobody wants to lose, and nobody thought that we're investing in something that was a pure scam. They thought it was something that had true trading attached to it, and that's that. Now, the third thing I want to point out is there are, and I should have said this first. Hopefully y'all make it to this video. But the scammers are out. Scammers are out. And I'm a matter of fact, I'm gonna tie this into the title and really drive the point home in the messaging. So even if you don't make it to this part of the video, hopefully you get the message. But the scammers are out. There's people in the comments, and I can't catch them all, but there's people in the comments that start off with a story that seems like they were a BG member and they're going through the same losses that we're going through. But then they'll say something about, then it was the value fusion or vaulty fusion that helped me get out of it. So if you see something about some vaulty fusion, they may change the name to something else, disregard it altogether. If I see it, I delete it. If I don't, then, don't get caught up in it, because they're typing their name in, and that's gonna make people say, "Ooh, what's vaulty fusion?" Now you go down a rabbit hole of searching vaulty fusion, and I don't know where that rabbit hole leads, because they can't help you get none of your funds. They're making it seem like people are able to get back all of their funds. So pay attention to that scam that's happening in real time in my comments. And if you see it, ignore it. I don't know if you can report it. I don't know what you can do on your end, but I'm deleting it on my end, because it is some type of scam happening on the back end, and they're being real subtle about it. They're like, yeah, nothing broke my heart more than seeing this person lose sleep over the money that they lost in BG Wealth Sharing, but fortunately this company was able to do this, and now they got all our money back because that was part of our retirement. Listen, don't fall victim to it. I just want to point that out, because I saw it multiple times today, and they had been up for hours, and I was like, nah, delete. So I deleted a few that I saw, but I don't want you to fall victim to that scam that's happening down below. We gotta keep our head on the swivel, stay tightened up, and paying attention. And the best way to pay attention is by observation, thinking twice, and knowing, hold on, something don't seem right about this. Whatever the case may be, we got to do that, and especially do that when it comes to the comments. And I don't know what other things they may do, because sometimes you have people talking about WhatsApp in there. I don't see that on my page just yet, but I do see the other one, so I had to point that out so you don't get caught up in it. So those are the three things. Share the video previously about getting the tax deduction. Very important. Using the IRS document and your tax professional. Very important. Share that out. The recovery plan video. Share that out. And lastly, don't fall victim to the comment scammers. That's all I got for this video. It's hot outside. Mr. Smith signing out. Salute.